Have you ever really stopped to think about what was going on behind the scenes of Jesus' crucifixion? We know the story by heart. We know about the physical pain, the crown of thorns, the betrayal, and the cry of, "It is finished." We have fixed our eyes year after year on the Savior's human suffering. But what if I told you we were only looking at half the picture? What if, while the greatest spiritual battle of all time unfolded on a hill called Golgotha, two colossal figures, two generals, from heaven were in position, executing critical missions that would ensure the ultimate victory? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover isn't just a biblical tidbit. It's a key that unlocks a new dimension of understanding about God's power, strategy, and care during the darkest moment in history. The Bible, in Luke 22, gives us a fleeting glimpse. In the Garden of Gethsemane, when Jesus' anguish was so profound that his sweat became like drops of blood, an angel appears to comfort him. Just an angel, nameless, faceless. And on the cross, the veil of the temple is torn. Darkness covers the earth, and the earth trembles. These are all powerful signs. But what about the spiritual world? What was happening in the angelic dimension, in the invisible realm where cosmic battles are fought? Most Christians go through life without asking this question. They see the cross as a solitary event, just between Jesus and humanity. But what if I told you there was a celestial operation underway? A divine mission so crucial that it required the presence of two of the most powerful archangels, Michael, the divine warrior, the prince of the heavenly hosts, and Uriel, the bearer of God's light and fire. What did these two magnificent beings do at that moment? Why were their presences absolutely vital? And why does this fascinating truth, though echoed in ancient traditions and prophetic texts, remain a secret unknown to most Christians? What you are about to see will change the way you view not only the crucifixion, but the very nature of spiritual warfare. It will show you that the cross was not a momentary defeat, but a perfectly orchestrated strategic maneuver, with defined roles in heaven and on earth. The action of these archangels at Calvary is a central piece connecting Old Testament prophecies to the resounding victory of Easter Sunday. So get ready, because we are about to step behind the veil of what is seen, to explore the celestial epic that unfolded at the foot of the cross. And it all begins by understanding the mission of each of these special envoys, and it is precisely this hidden dimension, this epic battle fought by Michael and Uriel behind the scenes of our salvation, that makes me believe that there are layers of meaning in the word that we are still uncovering together. Talking about this is not just sharing information, it is opening a space for us to collectively marvel at the grandeur of God's plan. And I really want to know what you're thinking now, after we've delved into this perspective. Does this vision of the cross, with this angelic operation underway, resonate with your spirit? Perhaps you've already felt, in moments of deep struggle in your own life, that there was a force, an invisible comfort sustaining you in the same way. If this subject touched your heart in any way, if it made you see a familiar verse in a new light, I invite you to leave a comment below. Tell me, what part of this revelation about the role of Michael and Uriel impacted you the most? Your experience, your perception, is incredibly valuable here. It's what transforms this channel from a monologue into a true community, where we can learn and grow together in faith. And you know, your simple participation, that comment, that like, that shows the content was important to you. That's the fuel that allows this channel to grow and reach more and more people. Each subscription, each like, is like a signal, saying, "This message matters, keep going." This allows us to go deeper, explore more prophecies, unravel more of these mysteries that strengthen our journey. So if you want this journey to continue, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the story doesn't end here. Michael and Uriel's mission on the cross had a specific and powerful purpose, and understanding each one's role is like putting together the pieces of a divine puzzle. Let's now delve into the heart of the action, beginning with the Archangel Michael, the celestial general who they were fixated on Christ's physical agony, a decisive battle of cosmic impact unfolding in the unseen realm. To truly grasp the magnitude of what Michael and Uriel did, we need a shift in mindset. The cross was not merely a tragic historical event. It was the convergence point of a millennia-old spiritual war, the moment when all the pressure of hell concentrated on that mountain. Darkness that covered the earth, the earthquake, the veil tearing from top to bottom, these were not mere special effects. They were the visible signs of a hidden truth. A cosmic rupture was underway. It was the culmination of a conflict between light and darkness, and in every great battle, the general doesn't stay in the rear. He goes to the front line. And on the cross, God's generals were Michael and Uriel. Now to unravel the specific mission of each one, we need to delve into their identity. And that's where the revelation becomes even more fascinating, because the function of each archangel on the cross was perfectly aligned with their essence and their name. If you've ever felt like you were in the middle of a battle where spiritual forces seemed intense, comment below. Behind the scenes, I'd love to know I'm not alone in this perception. And it is precisely this connection between character and mission that makes Michael's actions so powerful. While Jesus on the front lines carried the unimaginable weight of humanity's sin, a struggle with eternal consequences, Michael, the celestial prince, acted behind the scenes. His mission was strategic, one of containment. Through the prophecies of Daniel, we know that he is the warrior who confronts principalities and battles for the nations. Now, imagine this spiritual scene. Legions of darkness, realizing that their end was being decreed, launching themselves with total fury against Mount Calvary, trying in any way to prevent the perfect sacrifice. And in the midst of this chaos, Michael, firm as a rock, containing all this force of evil, ensuring that no spiritual interference would steal that moment. It was the battle that allowed peace. While Jesus died in peace, forgiving, Michael waged the war so that forgiveness would be fully achieved. This truth completely changes our perspective, doesn't it? If you have ever felt that, in your own process, a greater force was guarding what is sacred, write this down, guardian. Let's move on to understanding the other side of this dual mission. But the celestial strategy wasn't limited to containing evil. While Michael guarded the perimeter, another divine force acted in a more intimate and personal way. The Bible tells us in Luke that, in Gethsemane, an angel was sent to comfort and strengthen Jesus. This detail, often overlooked, is a key piece. And the Judeo-Christian tradition and texts like 2 Esdras help us to give a face to this. Angel, Uriel, whose name means fire of God or light of God. Think of the power contained in that name. It wasn't just any comfort. It was an active strengthening, an infusion of divine strength for the soul, a true inner transformation that enabled him to move forward. If, at the moment of his greatest journey of human suffering, God sent Uriel, this reveals a profound principle. The Father does not leave us helpless in our fragile humanity. He sends His fire to sustain us. If you've ever experienced a moment of weakness where an unexpected force lifted you up, write this down. ***, holy fire, ***. Now, if that was Uriel's mission in the garden, what did he do when the shadow of the cross became reality? And this is the question that leads us to the heart of Uriel's mission. If in Gethsemane his role was one of strengthening, on the cross it became something even more profound. We can understand Uriel as the one who kept the divine flame burning within the suffering humanity of Christ, while Jesus' physical body was pushed to the extreme of pain and exhaustion, and his soul carried the crushing weight of separation from the Father. Uriel's presence was a constant reminder, an active reinforcement of the connection with the source of all life. This goes beyond simple comfort. It was about impact, and sustenance. It was the fire of God, ensuring that the flame of obedience and perfect love did not go out, even when darkness seemed to consume everything. Just as fire purifies gold, Uriel brought this sacred fire that strengthened Jesus' human will, allowing him, at the peak of suffering, to make the final decision with total authority and proclaim, "It is finished," not as a sigh of defeat, but as a cry of complete and absolute victory. This hidden truth shows us that even in our deepest agony, We are not abandoned to our own strength. There is a spiritual principle of empowerment, a fire granted to us to fulfill our purpose, even when the journey is painful. If you have ever felt that, at your limit, a divine spark gave you the strength to declare your own victory. Write this down. It is finished. Now, with these 2 missions underway, let's put all the pieces together and observe the exact moment when the actions of Michael and Uriel converge to the perfect climax. And it is in this supreme moment that everything connects. Imagine the scene. Darkness covered the earth. The veil of the temple was about to tear, and at the height of his human agony sustained by Uriel's fire, Jesus cries out with a voice that echoes through eternity, "It is finished." This was not a cry of despair, but the announcement of a mission accomplished, the sound of a key turning in the lock of history. And in the spiritual realm, it was the signal for the final coordinated action. While Christ's voice echoed, we can imagine Michael, the divine warrior, charging against the gates of Sheol, the realm of the dead, forcing their way open. His mission of containment transformed into an offensive attack. He was, at that moment, ensuring that the path to victory over death was clear for the Savior, who would soon descend to preach to captive souls. It was a military victory being fought in the spiritual domains. In parallel, Uriel, the bearer of light, witnessed that perfect sacrifice. We can reverently speculate that his presence there served to symbolically seal the act with divine light and fire, as a celestial sign that the Father had accepted the perfect offering. It was confirmation that light had conquered darkness, not by force, but by sacrifice. This hidden truth completely transforms our understanding of the cross. It was not a passive event, but a dynamic and perfect operation, with each piece moving in divine synchronicity. If this vision of a coordinated battle resonates with your spirit, write this down. Asterisk, asterisk, divine operation, asterisk, asterisk. Now, can we find a basis for this dual mission in the oldest prophecies? The answer may surprise you. What makes this revelation even more impactful is realizing that this celestial operation was not an improvisation, but the meticulous fulfillment of a plan announced centuries ago. When we begin to connect the dots in the prophecies, we see that the presence and action of Michael and Uriel behind the scenes of the cross were absolutely aligned with the Word. This is not mere speculation. It's about closing a prophetic cycle. Take, for example, Psalm 91, a psalm of total divine protection. In it, it is written, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." This path of Jesus culminated at Golgotha, and there the promise was fulfilled to the letter with angelic protection. And that's not all. The prophet Daniel, in describing the end times, mentions Michael rising up as the great prince who defends God's people in a time of trouble such as never was. The crucifixion was undoubtedly the culmination of all spiritual anguish in history, making it perfectly coherent and powerful that Michael was there, in his post, defending the very author of salvation. These connections show the impressive coherence of the Bible, where the Old and New Testaments unite to reveal a hidden truth. Every detail, even in the invisible realms, was orchestrated by a divine mind. This journey through prophecy strengthens our faith that we are facing a revealed truth, and not a mere theory. If perceiving this prophetic synchronicity strengthens your faith as well, write this down. Asterisk, asterisk, it is written, asterisk, asterisk. Now this leads us to a crucial point that many may be wondering about. And it is precisely this line of reasoning that leads us to an inevitable and entirely valid question. If Uriel had such a significant role, why doesn't his name appear explicitly in the New Testament? This is a crucial question, and addressing it honestly only strengthens our search for truth. The answer is not a weakness in our theory, but a window into understanding how God chose to reveal His Word. First, it is vital to understand that the Bible is a book with a specific theological focus, and not all the details of the celestial backstage are fully revealed. The New Testament, in its wisdom, maintains the absolute central focus on Jesus Christ and His redemptive work. Naming Uriel could, in some way, divert part of this focus to an angelological discussion, That was not the main objective of the evangelists. However, the absence of a name does not in any way mean an absence of action or identity. The Bible is full of unnamed angels who perform extremely important tasks. The angel who stirred the waters at the pool of Bethesda, for example, was an agent of supernatural power, but remains anonymous. Jewish tradition and apocryphal texts, such as the Book of Enoch and 2 Esdras, which were read and respected by many in the first-century community, fill these gaps with precious revelations, celebrating Uriel as one of the principal archangels. These sources do not have the same authority as the sacred canon, but they serve as a cultural and theological backdrop that illuminates our understanding. They show us that the belief in Uriel's specific actions is not a modern invention, but a perception rooted in the spirituality of the time. If making this kind of connection between the Bible and the historical context broadens your understanding, write this down. ***, living tradition, ***. And it is this same tradition that helps us take the final step, bringing all this revelation to the heart of our faith life today. And this is where all this revelation ceases to be merely a fascinating biblical curiosity and becomes a transformative truth for our lives today. Because the same celestial strategy that was executed on Calvary is active in your journey and mine. Think about it. Michael's mission reveals to us that, in your most intense battles, those you don't even see, God has his agents in position. While you struggle against difficult decisions, against temptations, or against deep discouragement, there is a spiritual restraint behind the scenes, ensuring that the enemy does not have the final victory over your destiny. You are not fighting alone. There is a Michael waging wars for you, and Uriel? He's the confirmation that God does not abandon us to our own human strength, which has its limits. In our personal Gethsemanes, in moments of anguish where we feel we are going to crumble, the Father sends the comfort of His sacred fire, the light of His Holy Spirit, to strengthen us inwardly and enable us to proclaim our "it is finished" over that situation. The **** impact *** of this on our *** mindset *** is colossal. It means that on your cross, whatever it may be, you are not alone. The same God who orchestrated heaven and earth for the salvation of humanity is now coordinating the resources of heaven to sustain your life. This is not a distant theory. It is a *** hidden truth *** that becomes our greatest source of practical hope. If knowing that this real spiritual covering is over your life resonates in your heart, write this down. ***, I am not alone, ***. And it is with this certainty that we can see the complete and final picture of this incredible narrative. So when we put all the pieces together, it becomes clear that the cross was much more than what we could see with the naked eye. It was an event of two inseparable dimensions: the human dimension of the Lamb's redemptive suffering and the angelic dimension of strategic support and cosmic battle, led by the archangels Michael and Uriel, one ensuring the battlefield was secure, the other ensuring the main warrior was sustained until his last breath of victory. This journey of discovery shows us the depth of God's care, which acts both in the invisible behind the scenes and in our most tangible reality. It was, without a doubt, the most perfectly coordinated victory in all of history, a demonstration that every detail was planned with an eternal purpose. And now, this knowledge places us before a decision. What will we do with this revelation? How will it impact the way we see our own struggles and how we trust in divine protection? I would very much like to know what resonated in your heart after this exploration. In the comments, tell me, which angel from the Bible are you most curious to explore in a future video? Was it Gabriel with his decisive messages, or Raphael, known for healing? Your opinion is fundamental in shaping this journey together. Write down the name of the angel that fascinates you the most. If this journey behind the scenes of the cross resonated with your heart and expanded your faith even a little, then this work has already been worthwhile. And if you want to continue delving deeper with me into these mysteries and prophecies that strengthen our walk, subscribing to the channel is the easiest way to not miss anything. Your subscription shows me that this content has value for you and motivates me to keep going. And if this video touched you in any way, that like also helps a lot in spreading this message to more people. Oh, and for those who made it this far and felt that this message was special, leave the phrase, "until the end," in the comments. I'd love to know who was with me on this discovery. And to continue this conversation, there's a video here that delves into another fascinating mystery of the scriptures. Click and let's continue this journey together there. A hug, and until next time.